Lebanon is one of the Levantine republics carved out of the old Turkish dominions and mandated to France by the League of Nations after the end of the Great War. Lebanon is a stretch of mountainous country in Syria, running for 100 miles along the eastern shore of the Mediterranean, cut off from the hills of the Upper Galilee by the savage gorge of the Litani. It rises gradually until it culminates in a group of lofty peaks all over 10,000 feet high, Kurnatus Sauda, near the famous Sidar Grove of Bisheri, something over 6,000 feet high. Thence it descends to the northern boundary, Nahr al-Kabir, the ancient Eleutherus which divides it from the Jebel Nisariya. From the white Liban snowy summits that bears the royal blue, the name Lebanon is derived. Eastward, the mountain, comparatively barren in aspect, sinks steeply to the plain of Al-Beqa, the ancient coiled Syria, which is some 3,000 feet above sea level. The western slopes are more gradual. It is a land of springs and water brooks, fertile fields and fruitful orchards, with clumps of mulberry, pine and olive. White villages are dotted pleasantly among the green. Tremendous gorges rend the mountainside. Chief among these is the profound chasm of the Nahr-e-Kadisha, the sacred river, where awful precipices go shuddering down to depths unvisited by the sun. Villages perched on crags jutting out over the abyss seem in the distance as if poised in air. Nor far from the historic ruins of Baalbek, city of Baal, rise the Litani and Nahr al-Asi or Indus, the one flowing south and the other north. Arabian poets declare that Lebanon carries winter on its head, spring on its shoulders, autumn in its lap, with summer at its feet. Some of the world's greatest warriors, from Tiglath-Pileser III and Ramesses II to Napoleon Bonaparte and Allenby, have left records of the deeds engraved on the cliffs at the Dog River, Lycus, 7 miles north of Beirut. The Christian mountaineers withstood the early onrush of Islam, and today the Christian inhabitants outnumber the adherents of all other creeds. The Maronites, lineal descendants probably of the men whose axes rang through the Cedar forest, providing timber for Solomon and the Pharaohs, are most numerous. Originally Monophysites, they took their name from Maro, their first bishop. They fought with the Crusaders against the Saracens. Later they were reconciled to Rome, their priests being allowed to marry, and the Syriac language being retained in part of the service. They are strongest in Kesrama, the district between the Nahr al-Kalb and Nahr Ibrahim, the ancient Adonis. The Sidon hinterland is the country of the Greeks and Greek Catholics, Muslims and Mutawilah Shiites, possibly of Persian origin, live towards the northern and southern extremities. The Druzes or Druz, Arabic Zain, a picturesque and interesting people of mingled Syrian and Arabian blood, dwell mainly in the southern district. They believe in the divinity of El-Hakim, the mad Egyptian monarch who perished mysteriously in the 10th century. They believe that only a fixed number of human beings were created. When one dies, his spirit passes into a newborn babe. The Druze may profess any creed for his own ends if only he remain true in heart to his own faith. The Bedouin Arabs are not numerous, but in spring and summer their black tents may be seen in many of the valleys. An indirect result of the Crimean War of 1854-56 was the awful massacre of 1860. Then, through intervention of the great powers, Lebanon, excluding Beirut, was made an independent Liwa or Sanjak under a Christian governor, nominated by the Sultan and approved by the great powers. The next half-century of comparative prosperity saw the building of road and railway between Beirut and Damascus, the entrance of German and German Jew influence, and the rise of the Young Turks. Then came the Great War and the utter collapse of the Turkish overlord. In 1920, Lebanon was proclaimed a republic, extending north and south from Nahr al-Kabir to the frontier of Palestine, and west to east from the sea to the anti-Lebanon range. Beirut was made administrative capital, and the new state was given a national flag, the French tricolor with a cedar superimposed on the white crown.